Amira's world shattered in the sterile glow of the emergency room lights when the doctor uttered those words. Stage 2 breast cancer. She collapsed onto the cold linoleum floor, her mind reeling from the betrayal of her own body, but it was Anastasia, the night shift nurse with eyes like stormy seas, who caught her, whispering assurances that pierced deeper than any needle. From that moment, Amira's fight for survival intertwined with an unspoken pull toward the woman who tended her wounds, a connection that would unravel everything she thought she knew about love and loyalty. Every night in the oncology ward of St. Mary's Hospital in Chicago, Anastasia moved like a shadow through the dim corridors, her scrubs whispering against the linoleum as she checked vitals and administered meds. But for Amira, those visits became lifelines. "How's the pain tonight?" Anastasia asked, her voice soft yet steady, as she adjusted the foredrip. Amira, propped up in bed, forced a smile through the fog of chemo-induced nausea. "Manageable. Thanks to you." Inside, Amira's thoughts churned. Why does her touch linger? Why do I crave her presence more than the morphine? She had always been the dutiful daughter, the one who followed the script: college, career and marketing, engagement to a nice guy from church. But cancer had stripped away the facade, exposing raw vulnerabilities she couldn't ignore. Anastasia, too, wrestled with her own demons. At 28, she had escaped a conservative upbringing in rural Illinois, where her parents preached fire and brimstone against anything deviating from the norm. Nursing school in the city had been her rebellion, but the scars remained. As she sat by Amira's bedside during quiet hours, sharing stories of lost dreams and hidden fears, Anastasia felt a spark ignite. "You know, I've never told anyone this," Amira confessed one midnight, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I think I've been living someone else's life." Anastasia's heart raced. Is this what I've been running from? The fear of admitting I want more than the heteronormative mold my family shoved me into? She squeezed Amira's hand, a gesture meant to comfort, but it sent electric currents through both of them. Days blurred into weeks. Amira's treatments intensified, her hair falling out in clumps, her body weakening, yet her spirit clung to Anastasia's encouragement. "You're stronger than this," Anastasia would say, helping Amira walk the halls. In those moments, Amira's inner monologue screamed, "What if this feeling is real? What if loving her means betraying my family, my faith?" Her parents visited daily, her mother clutching a rosary, praying for miracles, while her father lectured on resilience. "God has a plan," he'd say, oblivious to the turmoil brewing. Amira nodded, but her eyes sought Anastasia across the room, a silent plea for understanding. One evening, after a particularly grueling session, Amira broke. Tears streamed as she admitted, "I don't know if I can do this alone." Anastasia, off-duty but lingering, pulled up a chair. "You're not alone." Their conversation delved deeper, Anastasia sharing her own story of a high school crush on a girl that ended in heartbreak and family rejection. "I hid it for years," she said. "Pretended it was a phase." Amira's mind whirled. Am I like her? Have I been hiding too? The air thickened with unspoken truths, and as Anastasia leaned in to wipe a tear, their foreheads touched. A brief, innocent contact that felt like a revelation. But guilt flooded Amira. What would my sister say? She's planning my wedding, for God's sake. The hospital became their sanctuary, a bubble away from societal judgments. Yet cracks appeared. Amira's fiancé, Mark, noticed the change. "You seem distant," he said during a visit, his eyes narrowing at Anastasia's retreating figure. Amira brushed it off, but internally she agonized. Is this fair to him? To me? Anastasia, meanwhile, faced her own battles. Her roommate, a fellow nurse, teased about patient crushes, but Anastasia snapped back, hiding the depth of her feelings. "It's just compassion," she lied, but her thoughts betrayed her. "This is more. This could ruin everything. My job, my fragile peace with my parents." As discharge neared, Amira panicked. "What happens when I leave?" she asked Anastasia one night. "We stay in touch," Anastasia replied, slipping her number into Amira's hand. The gesture was loaded, a promise of something forbidden. Amira clutched it like a talisman. This could be my salvation or my downfall. Little did she know, this simple act would set off a chain of events, pulling them into a vortex of love, lies, and loss. The city outside buzzed with indifference, but inside Amira's heart, A storm brewed, one that would force her to choose between conformity and truth. Anastasia watched Amira leave the next day, her heart heavy. Back home in her cramped apartment, she stared at her phone, willing it to ring. When it did, Amira's voice on the other end was tentative. "Coffee? Tomorrow." Anastasia agreed, ignoring the voice in her head warning of consequences. This is worth the risk, she thought. Or is it? The decision hung like a sword, ready to sever ties she wasn't prepared to lose. Amira sat across from Anastasia in the bustling Chicago cafe, the aroma of fresh brew doing little to calm her nerves. "I didn't think I'd see you outside those hospital walls," Amira said, her voice laced with a mix of relief and anxiety. Anastasia smiled, but her eyes darted to the door, as if expecting judgment to walk in. Inside, she battled. What if someone from work sees us? What if this crosses a professional line I can't uncross? Their conversation flowed easily at first. Updates on Amira's recovery, light banter about city life, but soon veered into dangerous territory. "Tell me more about your family," Amira prompted, genuinely curious. Anastasia hesitated. "My parents would disown me if they knew." "They're traditional," she said vaguely. "Yours?" Amira sighed. "Mine too. Dad's a pastor. Mom runs the church choir. Expectations are high." The weight of those expectations pressed on Amira daily. Back in her suburban home, her mother fussed over meals, her father quoted scripture, and her sister, Lena, chattered about wedding plans with Mark. "You two are perfect," Lena gushed. Amira nodded, but her mind wandered to Anastasia. Perfect? Or just safe? The guilt gnawed at her. Mark was kind, reliable, but the spark was absent. That night, alone in her room, Amira replayed their coffee date. Her laugh, her empathy, it's like she sees the real me. But admitting that meant dismantling her life. Anastasia, too, felt the pull. After the cafe, she confided in her best friend, Carla, over wine. "There's this patient." "Former patient," she started. Carla's eyes widened. "A woman?" Anastasia nodded, bracing for reaction. "Be careful," Carla warned. "Society's not as progressive as we think." Anastasia's thoughts spiraled. Is love worth the isolation? The next day, she texted Amira. "Want to grab dinner?" The response came quick. Yes. Dinner turned into walks in Grant Park, stolen moments where hands brushed, eyes lingered. Amira's inner conflict intensified. This feels right, but it's wrong in everyone's eyes. My family would see it as sin. Mark sensed the shift. "You've been distant," he confronted during a date. Amira deflected, but the lie tasted bitter. Just recovery stuff. Internally, she questioned, am I betraying him? Or myself by staying? Meanwhile, Anastasia's parents called, inviting her home for the weekend. "Bring a nice boy," her mother hinted. Anastasia laughed it off, but the pressure mounted. Hide forever, or face the fire. She chose to invite Amira instead, framing it as friendship. "Road trip," she suggested. Amira agreed, excitement mingling with dread. The drive to rural Illinois was tense. Amira gripped the wheel. What if they suspect? Anastasia fidgeted. This is a test. For us, for me. At the family farm, introductions were polite, but Anastasia's mother eyed Amira suspiciously. How do you know my daughter? From the hospital. Amira replied smoothly. Dinner was awkward, filled with probing questions. Anastasia's father preached about traditional values. Anastasia seethed inside. If only they knew their daughter dreams of a woman's touch. That night, sharing a guest room, whispers turned intimate. I think I'm falling for you, Amira admitted in the dark. Anastasia's heart soared and sank. Me too, but the cost. The visit unraveled when Anastasia's brother overheard a late-night conversation. What's going on? He demanded the next morning. Anastasia denied, but the seed of doubt was planted. Back in Chicago, the fallout began. Amira's sister, Lena, noticed her distraction. Are you seeing someone else? Lena accused. Amira froze. Not someone, a woman. The confession slipped out in a heated argument. It's Anastasia. Lena's face twisted in shock and disgust. That's not you. Think about mom and dad. Amira's mind raced. Is it me? Or have I been suppressed? Lena threatened to tell their parents unless Amira ended it. Anastasia faced similar turmoil. Her brother called, warning. Mom thinks you're hiding something. The pressure built, forcing a decision. We need to talk, she told Amira. Over coffee again, tears flowed. I can't lose my family, Anastasia said. Amira nodded, heartbroken. But I can't lose you. They agreed to pause, but the damage was done. Mark proposed properly that week, ring in hand. Amira stared at it. Safety or truth? She said yes, but her heart screamed no. The engagement party loomed, a facade cracking under the weight of secrets. Anastasia attended as a friend. Her presence a torment. Watching Amira with Mark, she thought. This is the price of fear. Jealousy and longing mixed, leading to a stolen moment in the kitchen. I can't do this, Amira whispered. Anastasia pulled away. Neither can I, but we must. The night ended in silent agony. Both women paying dearly for their unspoken love. The engagement party buzzed with laughter and clinking glasses in Amira's family home. But beneath the surface, tension crackled like electricity before a storm. Amira circulated among guests, her diamond ring feeling like a shackle, while Anastasia lingered in the corner, nursing a drink. Their eyes met across the room, a silent accusation. Why are we pretending? Amira's thoughts tormented her. I said yes to Mark to appease everyone, but it's killing me inside. Lena watched them like a hawk, her earlier threat hanging heavy. Don't mess this up, she had warned. As the evening wore on, Mark pulled Amira aside. You seem off. Is it the cancer? Amira shook her head, guilt flooding. It's you, it's not you. That night, after guests left, she confronted Lena. You can't control my life. Lena snapped back. This family can't handle scandal. Dad's church position, think about it. Amira's inner voice rebelled. Think about my happiness? The argument escalated, voices rising until their parents intervened. What's this about? Their father demanded. Lena blurted. Amira's involved with a woman. The room froze. Amira's heart pounded. The truth is out, now the reckoning. Her father's face reddened. Is this true? Amira stood tall, voice trembling. Yes. Anastasia. Her mother gasped, clutching her chest. How could you? After all we've taught you. Amira's mind whirled. Taught me to deny myself? The confrontation turned ugly. Accusations of sin, pleased to pray it away. Amira stormed out, driving straight to Anastasia's apartment. They know, she said, collapsing into her arms. Anastasia held her, but fear gripped her. Now mine will too. Word spread like wildfire. Anastasia's phone blew up. Her brother, then her parents. We heard rumors, her mother said coldly. Tell me it's not true. Anastasia hesitated. Lie or lose them. It is, she admitted. The line went silent, then exploded in condemnation. You're no daughter of mine, her father roared. Disowned in an instant, Anastasia hung up, numb. The price of authenticity is exile. She turned to Amira. What now? Amira, still reeling, suggested. We fight for us. But doubt crept in. At what cost? Mark was next. Amira met him at their favorite spot by the lake. I can't marry you, she said. His face crumpled. Because of her? Amira nodded. Betrayal flashed in his eyes. You used me. Amira's guilt intensified. Did I? Or was I hiding? He walked away, leaving her alone with her choices. Society's backlash followed. Whispers at work, judgmental stares from church friends. Amira lost clients, her reputation tarnished. Is love worth professional ruin? Anastasia faced worse. At the hospital, colleagues gossiped. Patient romance? Unethical. Her supervisor called her in. This could cost your license. Anastasia defended. It started after discharge. But the damage was done, suspended pending review. Alone in her apartment, she questioned. Was pursuing this selfish? Amira arrived, offering comfort, but tension simmered. Your family hates me, Anastasia said. Amira countered. We can build our own. But inside, Amira worried. Can we survive the isolation? A mutual friend, Carla, tried to mediate. Over lunch, she urged caution. Society's not ready. Amira snapped. We shouldn't wait for permission. Carla's words planted seeds of doubt in Anastasia. Maybe she's right. That night, a heated argument erupted. You're pulling away, Amira accused. Anastasia admitted. I'm scared. I've lost everything. Amira's heart broke. So have I, but for you. The fight ended in tears, a temporary truce, but the rift widened. Desperate, Amira sought therapy. How do I reconcile love with loss? The therapist probed. What do you value most? Amira reflected. Freedom over facade. Meanwhile, Anastasia reconnected with an old flame, a man in a moment of weakness. Just coffee, she told herself, but guilt consumed her. Am I betraying Amira? Or seeking normalcy? When Amira found out, the confrontation was explosive. How could you? Amira yelled. Anastasia defended. I was lost. The betrayal cut deep, forcing Amira to question. Is this love or destruction? The mending was tentative. They talked for hours, exposing vulnerabilities. I panicked, Anastasia confessed. Amira forgave, but scars remained. Trust is fragile. As they navigated the fallout, societal pressures mounted. Protests at church against immoral lifestyles. Anonymous hate mail. Amira's father reached out. Come home. We can fix this. Tempted, she wavered. Family or love? The choice loomed, a moral quandary with no easy answer. Amira stood at her parents' doorstep, the familiar porch swing creaking in the wind, a symbol of the stability she craved yet rejected. I've come to talk, she said when her mother opened the door, eyes wary. Inside, the living room felt suffocating, filled with family photos of happier times. Her father sat rigidly. Have you come to your senses? Amira shook her head. No, I've come to make you understand. This is who I am, she declared. The argument reignited. Scripture versus self-acceptance, tradition against truth. Her mother wept. We raised you better. Amira's inner turmoil peaked. Did they? Or did they mold me into their image? She left unresolved, the door slamming like a finality. Back with Anastasia, the strain showed. How did it go? Anastasia asked. Amira collapsed. Disaster. They clung to each other, but resentment brewed. Anastasia's suspension dragged on, job prospects dimming. This is because of us, she muttered. Amira countered. No, because of bigotry. But doubt festered. Are we worth this suffering? A job offer came for Anastasia, in New York, away from the mess. Should I take it? She asked. Amira's heart clenched. Stay for me? Or go for you? Do what's best, she said, hiding her fear. The decision sparked another clash. You're abandoning me, Amira accused when Anastasia accepted. Anastasia fired back. I need to rebuild. You have your family fallback. Amira recoiled. Do I? The word stung, exposing inequalities. Amira's privilege versus Anastasia's isolation. In a moment of rage, Amira confided in Lena again, seeking alliance. Help me convince her to stay. Lena refused. End it. It's toxic. Betrayed, Amira lashed out. You're no sister. The family rift deepened. Amira cut off financially. Now she paid the price. Independence at the cost of security. Anastasia packed, her apartment echoing with emptiness. Come with me, she pleaded. Amira hesitated. Leave everything? Her cancer follow-up loomed, ties to Chicago strong. I can't, she said. Tears flowed. Love demands sacrifice, but how much? The goodbye at the airport was gut-wrenching. This isn't over, Anastasia whispered. Amira nodded, but inside, it feels like it. Alone, Amira faced her demons. Therapy sessions delving into internalized homophobia, societal conditioning. Why fight so hard? The therapist asked. Amira realized, because denial is death. Months passed in agony. Amira threw herself into work, but whispers persisted. A promotion slipped away. Image issues. Furious, she confronted her boss. Because I'm gay? The denial was thin. Society's bias in action. Meanwhile, Anastasia struggled in New York. New city, old prejudices. A date with a woman went sour. You're too damaged. She thought of Amira. Was our love real, or a crutch? A call came, Amira's cancer markers rose. Panic set in. I need her. Anastasia booked a flight back, the decision impulsive. Love over logic. Reunited in the hospital, roles reversed. Amira patient, Anastasia visitor. I couldn't stay away, Anastasia said. Amira's eyes filled. Neither could I. But Mark appeared, flowers in hand. Heard you're back in. Awkwardness ensued. Later, Amira confessed. He wants reconciliation. Anastasia's jealousy flared. After everything? The triangle intensified moral dilemmas. Loyalty to past or future. Amira chose. It's you. But the rejection hurt Mark deeply, a final betrayal. Society's hammer fell harder. Amira's father publicly denounced sinful choices in a sermon, indirectly targeting her. Congregants shunned her family. Her mother called broken. You've destroyed us. Amira agonized. Am I the villain? Anastasia faced professional ruin. A lawsuit from the hospital for ethical breach. Fight it. Amira urged. Anastasia nodded. For us. The battle drained them legal fees, emotional toll. In court, testimonies exposed vulnerabilities. Was their love unethical, or society's view? The verdict favored Anastasia, cleared, but reputation scarred. Victory bittersweet. We've won, but at what price? Back together they moved in, defying odds. Yet shadows lingered. Family estrangement, social isolation. A holiday alone highlighted losses. Is happiness worth the void? Amira's cancer stabilized, but the fight left marks. They vowed resilience, but cracks showed in quiet moments. Doubt, regret. The high cost of authenticity weighed heavy, forcing reflection on choices made and paths forsaken. Amira and Anastasia settled into a modest apartment overlooking Lake Michigan, the waves a constant reminder of life's turbulence. Mornings brought coffee and quiet conversations, but evenings carried the weight of unresolved pains. Do you regret it? Amira asked one night, staring at the ceiling. Anastasia turned. Sometimes. But not us. Her mind echoed. The isolation bites, but freedom tastes sweeter. They built a new routine, support groups for LGBTQ individuals, where stories mirrored theirs. Families lost, selves found. Amira shared her journey. Cancer forced me to face truths. Listeners nodded, but inside she wondered. Was illness the catalyst, or inevitability? Work stabilized for both, Amira freelancing, Anastasia at a new clinic. But scars ran deep. A call from Lena. Mom's ill. She asks for you. Amira's heart twisted. Reconciliation or trap? She went, Anastasia by her side. At the hospital, her mother looked frail. I was wrong, she whispered. Tears flowed. Forgiveness? Amira hugged her. Partial healing, but father's absence stung. He can't accept, her mother said. Amira thought. Will he ever? The visit sparked hope, but reality intruded, society's slow change. Anastasia reconnected tentatively with her brother. Parents are stubborn, he said. But I miss you. A bridge, fragile but standing. Yet betrayals lingered, friends who ghosted, opportunities lost. At a pride event they marched, empowered yet vigilant. Progress but peril. Amira's inner voice affirmed. We've paid dearly but emerged stronger. A crisis hit when Anastasia's ex-colleague leaked private details online. Hate comments flooded. Disgusting. They reported, but damage done. Privacy invaded, trust eroded. Why us? Anastasia cried. Amira held her. Because we dare to love. Therapy continued, unpacking layers. Moral choices define us, the therapist noted. Amira reflected. Was hiding ethical? Or coming out selfish? Debates ensued. Friends argued societal duty versus personal right. Anastasia leaned toward self-preservation. We owe ourselves happiness. But Amira countered. At others' expense? The tension simmered, testing their bond. A weekend getaway aimed to mend. Walks on beaches, honest talks. I choose you always, Amira said. Anastasia echoed. Through the storm. But returning, reality hit. Amira's father emailed, disinviting her from family events. Heartbreak renewed. Full acceptance elusive. As time passed, they advocated. speaking at panels on LGBTQ rights in healthcare. Stories inspired, but exhausted. Is it worth it? Amira pondered. Anastasia. For those following. Their love deepened amid trials, a testament to resilience. Yet quiet doubts persisted. The price? Families fractured, careers derailed, psyches scarred. Amira's cancer remission brought joy but vigilance. Life's fragility. They planned a commitment ceremony, small and intimate. Invites to families went unanswered, a final sting. Love celebrated in shadows. The ceremony was poignant. Vows exchanged under stars, promises of endurance. In sickness and health, Amira said, echoing her hospital days. Anastasia smiled. Through judgment and joy. Guests cheered, but absences echoed. Post-event, reflection hit. We've awakened to truths, but at great cost. Society evolved slowly. Laws changed, attitudes shifted, but personal battles raged. Amira journaled. Damage irreversible, growth undeniable. Anastasia agreed. We've transformed. Years later, looking back, the journey felt epic, a saga of love against odds. They mentored young women facing similar struggles. Choose wisely, pay mindfully. But the core question lingered, sparking debates in their circle. Was their path righteous? Or reckless? Friends split. Some praised courage, others decried disruption. Amira and Anastasia stood firm. Their bond unbreakable. Yet, in quiet moments, they wondered. Could we have navigated differently? The answer eluded, a moral maze. In the end, their story wasn't just romance, but a mirror to society's flaws and individual strengths. Love triumphed, but victory came bloodied. As they aged together, peace settled, though echoes of turmoil remained. The ultimate awakening. Authenticity demands sacrifice, but yields liberation. But was it all justified? Was defying family and society for personal love a selfish act, or a necessary stand for truth?